In this case, the facts are clear and the law is clear. And the court should end the harassment against Mrs. Nikki Araguz.
The fight over the estate of an area firefighter who died on the job wears on. Now a woman has come forward as a witness. She says fallen Wharton firefighter Thomas Araguz definitely knew his wife had a sex change. 39's Marcy Izzard spoke with her. She joins us now. Marcy, what did she have to say?
Well, I'll tell you, Carolyn Bosma works at a transgender clinic in Houston. She says she met with Thomas and his wife Nikki at the clinic before Nikki's sex change even took place. Some close to Nikki say this is just one more reason why the entire suit against her should be dropped.
I don't think he was deceived in any way.
Today, Carolyn Bosma told reporters she was at a transgender clinic back in 2007 when Nikki Araguz came in with her husband Thomas to discuss her upcoming sex change.
No, Thomas really wasn't asking any questions. It was mostly Nikki wanting to know information about the surgery, what I had gone through, what she might expect.
Carolyn's account comes the day after Nikki's attorneys pointed to emails they say are proof Thomas Araguz knew his wife used to be a man. But the other side says all that is not the point.
Oh, really, Mr. Ed? What does that sound like to me? Oh, yeah, that sounds like a lie. But coming from someone who was banned from practicing law for 3 years and then put on probation for another 3 years, plus has a public rebuke on your record for passing hot checks, Mr. Ed, right. So that was never your point. That was never the story you were pushing. Is that what you're saying? Because that sounds like a lie to me. I don't know. What do you think?
But was this woman a man when she married the Wharton firefighter who was killed earlier this month? And did he know about it? Those are the questions at the center of a battle over his death benefits.
Thomas Araguz died fighting a fire just months after his family said he learned his wife was actually born a man. He wanted a divorce.
And my husband was fully aware.
But attorney Frank Mann has a different take.
Well, when I first saw her, it was kind of odd. She was kind of odd. There was something off about her.
Thomas Araguz III, a volunteer firefighter in Wharton County, was killed in a blaze July 4th. Since, his mother and ex-wife have filed this lawsuit claiming he didn't know everything about Nikki, specifically that she was born a man.
Claims that Thomas allegedly didn't know Nikki had been born a man. Claims filed in court by his ex-wife and mother.
He would be disgusted at how this is what's going on and the behavior of his family.
In this fight between Nikki and Thomas's ex-wife, Heather Delgado, over the fate of his estate, Delgado's attorney says the only thing that matters is the law. So now the heart of the dispute is based on the interpretation of Texas law. Nikki's side points to one clause within the family code that seems to imply marriages involving sex changes are okay. But Delgado's attorneys say that's only valid if the couple is heterosexual by birth, and in this case they point to the state's ban on same-sex marriage.
The very first section, 2.01, specifically states marriage in the state of Texas can only be between man and woman.
Okay, at this point, you're either an ignoramus or you're purposefully obfuscating the facts. You're purposefully misrepresenting fact and law. But then again, that doesn't surprise me, Mr. Rap Sheet, Mr. Ed. Okay, first of all, your premise is that Texas does not recognize same-sex marriage, and therefore Nikki Araguz could not have been married to Thomas Araguz. That's your premise. Now, whenever you take into account that the Texas legislature has passed specific law recognizing sex changes, does that not create any cognitive dissonance in your mind at all, Mr. Ed? Really? Basically, the bill of goods that you're trying to sell people now that people are on to your game, is that Texas does not recognize any sex changes, and it doesn't matter that Texas law recognizes sex changes. I mean, you've recognized that Texas law recognizes sex changes, yet you're still regurgitating the same tripe. You're still saying that even though the state of Texas recognized sex changes, that Nikki is still a man. Even though Texas law specifically recognizes sex changes for the purposes of marriage, Nikki Araguz is still a man and therefore her marriage is void. That's what you're trying to sell people. Do you realize how idiotic you sound? I mean, you have to have some clue. You have to, after this press conference, you had to walk into the bathroom, look at the mirror, and break down in tears. Come on. How can you sleep at night? You've ruined this woman's life with all of your bullshit. And you keep on spewing it, even after it's been debunked. What is wrong with you? Mr. Ed and your rap sheet and your theft by check. I tell you what, I can't wait to make my video about your problems with the State Bar of Texas.
Both sides claim they want the money, which could turn into several $100,000 for Delgado and Araguz's children. It appears it will all be left to the courts to decide.
I should specify that meeting at the clinic that Bosma was talking about is before the surgery actually took place, according to her. The State Bar is looking into ethics complaints, by the way, against Frank Mann, one of Delgado's attorneys. Apparently, Nikki filed a grievance relating to his handling of the case. Today, Mann told us he has done nothing illegal. In the studio, Marcy Izzard, 39 News.